All right, we're going to have a little conversation here with none other than Mr. Peter Forsberg of the Colorado Avalanche. Peter, welcome to Toronto, the Sport Card Expo. How are you doing? How's your flight in? Is this your first time up here at the show?
First time here in Toronto at the show. I was here after my career for the Hall of Fame induction in I think it was 2014. Well, it was a couple of days in Denver, and then I flew here maybe a couple of days ago. I'm going to have to play the game tomorrow, see how that goes. So good thing I'm doing this before so I wouldn't get hurt and not be able to come here. So, no, good to be, went to the game last night, so good to be around hockey town again. This is awesome.
Right on. Well, this is the biggest sports card collectors show in Canada, second biggest one in the world. Look at all your fans right over there. What's going on, everybody? What's going on? And all these, this is the lineup for people to grab your autograph. I want to know a little bit about you. I'm a card collector. I've been a collector my whole life. I remember when your rookie card came out, the 91-92 Upper Deck set. It was the draft day picture. Have you ever owned a copy of that card yourself?
Yeah, I have a few of those. I guess is with the Philly jersey there, 91, when I get drafted. I think that's the one that's called the rookie card. So, yeah, it doesn't really look like me anymore, but I guess it is me. So I got a few cards. I don't really collect any cards, but I got a few at home that I got sent from Upper Deck and stuff like that way back. So I have a few cards at home, absolutely. I'm not throwing them away, and they might be worth something in the long run.
Well, I will tell you that a lot of the cards with you on them that have come out since then are worth a lot more. When that card came out, we call that the junk wax era, the mass production. What do you think nowadays? Upper Deck has the license for Upper Deck hockey cards. Thankfully, they make beautiful cards. What do you think about these cards when they send them to you? And I know you've signed cards in the last 10 years, beautiful patches, you're autographing them. What do you think of these cards? Do you like them? Have you ever looked at one and thought, wow, that's a beautiful card?
Oh, definitely. I mean, that happens all the time. You're like, well, I think every time you start signing, like this new set that coming out, and you're like, wow, it's pretty cool. And adding jerseys and adding whatever they do. So I think it took a huge step from back in the 90s when the rookie card came out. So no, they're absolutely pretty cool cards nowadays, and these, like I said, newer ones and cooler ones every time.
Yeah, they've really evolved how they're making them. They're much thicker now and everything. And so, when you receive cards from Upper Deck to sign them, do you ever think about maybe keeping one for yourself?
I can't say that here. But definitely, if it's a cool card, and then it's.
Have you ever thought about going and buying one?
Well, it's always sometimes you're right, that gets smeared or whatever, then nobody really knows. But I don't try to, if it's only 5 cards or something like that, it's really hard. But if to steal one, but if it's 100, maybe you can sneak one away. Absolutely.
Yeah, I understand that. Do you like signing these cards? Is it something that you don't mind doing? Would you like to do more of it? And I ask as a collector because we love these things. We like receiving them in the market. We like when they're in the product. Is it something you're? And I'm not trying to be an agent here for you, but is it something that you are open to doing more of as the years go by?
Well, I think you got to kind of keep it kind of limited. I don't want to do it all the time, and maybe once or twice a year at the most. So. It's kind of the first time I'm at the live show like this. I used to do, I guess it's called silent signings or whatever, private signings, but the first time I do it like this, and I might do that more. It's actually fun. I live in kind of quiet Switzerland nowadays, and when you come here and you see, it's actually people kind of enjoyed when you played and thought about you. So sometimes you forget about you played, and then you come and see fans that watched you play back in the days and bring up good memories. So I might do more like here to meet some fans and people. So maybe not too many private, but more like this to meet some people.
That's nice. I think people really appreciate that you're here in the first. But were you a collector at all growing up? Did you save many of your jerseys, your memorabilia? Did your family hold any of those things, and do they still have stuff like that?
While I was really young in Sweden, we had those that you put in a book. You bought it from the team, so you put the whole, let's say, we don't have an NHL, but we have SHLs that all the teams and try to buy them and you collect, so you had the whole book full of it. So I did that when I was really small, and then lately I've been collecting jerseys a little bit when I played. It was a little easier to get hold of them then. Now it's a little harder because they get marked and they get sold and here and there. But throughout my career, I got some good ones. I got a Michael Jordan. I got a Gretzky. I got most of the hockey players. So a Bork one, I think, from the Stanley Cup playoffs. I got a Roy one from the playoffs. So I was trying to sneak out a few jerseys throughout my career. So I got a few football players.
He's got a Jordan. He's got a Gretzky. That's amazing. Good for you. Good for you. Okay, I know everyone's waiting to get your autograph here, so let's wrap up with a couple questions. If you were to start collecting cards or memorabilia of a current player who's playing right now and of a retired player, who would you like to collect? Whose game do you like right now, and who's maybe a young up and comer, and of retired players, whose game do you really respect and admire?
Well, retired players, Gretzky is hard to look by. I would say. I also played against Lemieux back in the days. He was an unbelievable good player too. So, current player, I put me on the spot a little bit there. Bedard is, you never know. He looks really, really good. McDavid is flying around. If I have to say, maybe somebody now though, since I got to play against Crosby back in the days. I mean, it's been a great career, won a couple of times, still going. I just like the way he sees the ice and what he does. So maybe I would say Crosby, but I don't know. I didn't think about this question before. So, but he's been a fantastic player for a long time.
He really has been. Let me ask you, who's the hardest player you played against?
Well, I had breakfast this morning. I ran into Ty Domi, and he's like, "Do you remember when you did an offensive hit on me?" I'm like, "Yeah, I did," because we played the first time here in the Garden, and he gave me an elbow from the back, and I'm like, I didn't really know who it was because I just came from Sweden, and I hit him like 2 shifts later, and my teammate, my lineman, is like, rule number 1, like, do not hit Ty Domi like that.
Who was that? Do you remember who was that line mate?
Oh, Adam Deadmarsh. He goes, yeah, don't hit him like that. He goes, especially if I'm on the ice with you, because then he's going to kill me.
Right.
So it was kind of funny to run into him. But he's a force out there. Other than that, I think Darren Hatcher is here and playing the game tomorrow. We had some really tough battles when he was in Dallas. I got to play him every shift. I made 2 Game 7s, and so he was a tough player to play against. This is just a mean, big body.
Right on. Okay, I got one more question just came to my mind. Right now, from the players that you played with or against, is there anybody that's a really good friend of yours that that you talk to regularly that maybe wasn't on your cup-winning teams and maybe wasn't just a teammate, but somebody that you got to know maybe post-career who's become a good friend to you?
I don't know. I have to think. That's hard. Who did I talk to? No, I think, if I go back, maybe most funny guy but I played with him, Dan Heinold. He's a assistant coach in Nashville now. And I always, he was the worst player ever, but he was the best teammate.
We won't tell him you said
no,
that.
you have to tell him that. He knows it too. Yeah, it's just, they had to flood the ice a couple of times if he was stick handling by himself. So but it shows that you have a big heart and you can get a long way.
Right. I'm from Winnipeg originally. Teemu Selanne, my favorite all-time professional athlete. What are your thoughts on Teemu? I know you're Swedish. He's from Finland. Is he somebody that you were ever close with at all?
Well, he played with us 1 year there in Colorado. He came down. Unfortunately, he had a kind of a bad knee there, but I played against him because he was in Finland and we were in Sweden, and then we played against him so many times. He got to beat us in Olympics '98, but most of the time we beat him. But he was a unbelievable goal scorer and a fantastic guy, I would say. So it's some guy that I meet occasionally. Now we have a good time.
So before I came on, I asked a couple of people, do you have any questions that I should ask Peter Forsberg? And my friend Karn, who's standing right over there, I said to him, do you have any questions you'd like me to ask Peter Forsberg? Because he's my all-time favorite hockey player. This guy over. He said to me, yeah, ask him if he'll be my best friend. He wants to know if you'll be his best friend. This guy over here.
Well, that's a good question. Oh, I don't think so, to be honest. I got a lot of good friends.
I'm sure. All right, Peter. Thanks so much, man. It's great to meet you.
Oh, thank you.